you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it. We thought it was just a detour, a blocked off road, a couple of bad directions, and a sleepy little town that didn't show up on the GPS. For people like us, we were never meant to find it, and once we did, we were never supposed to leave. We were on day 5 of a 2-week road trip, me and Jules, just 2 friends, not dating, not anything like that, just tired of the city, the noise, the grind. We wanted silence, mountains, empty highways, so we packed a cooler, made playlists, and booked cheap motels in advance and set off from Chicago towards Colorado. Everything had been fine until Missouri. We'd been detoured once already, bridge repair, lost almost an hour. Then, just past the state line, we hit another roadblock. Some kind of overturned livestock trailer and a line of state troopers waving traffic into backroads. Jules was driving. "Should we wait?" I asked. She shook her head. "This will take hours. There's a side road just ahead. Looks like it reconnects." I checked the map. It didn't show the side road at all, but there it was. A paved stretch marked only by a bent signpost with the number 17 spray painted in red. At first, it wasn't bad. Rolling fields, no other cars. Radio fuzzed out, so we switched to downloaded music. We passed a decaying billboard that said, "Fisker's Market, 6 miles. It felt like one of those old mum and pop country stores where you could get homemade jerky and a Coke in a glass bottle. Then the road narrowed, no shoulders, trees leaned in from both sides, and the sky went grey. Jules glanced at me. "You getting reception yet?" "Nope." I pulled up the GPS again. It was frozen, the blue dot spinning, no roads listed. We passed a rusted out car on the shoulder. It looked like it's been there for decades. The windows gone, vines growed up through the wheels. No tags, no plates, just a hand painted message on the windshield. Gas and food, 3 miles. I didn't like it. Neither did Jules, but our gas light came on 5 minutes later. The road dropped into a shallow valley and suddenly, there it was, a town. Tiny, maybe 4 blocks total. No name on the sign, no highway markers, just a wooden archway over the road that read, "Welcome." Not "welcome to," just "welcome." The gas station was the first thing we saw. Old pumps, 1 lit bulb swinging above the entrance. The sign said, "Fisker's General," matching the billboard. Jules pulled in. Neither of us said a word. Inside, the place smelled like sawdust and motor oil. It was one of those stations that still have a bell above the door. It rang when we stepped in. There was no one behind the counter, just rows of dusty shelves, canned meat, ancient looking candy, windshield wipers in sun-bleached packaging. The cooler hummed in the back. I walked towards it, grabbed 2 sodas, and turned to see Jules standing shook still. She was staring at a photo board behind the register. "Come look at this," she said. I did, and immediately I felt sick. It was a wall of missing persons flyers, all of them faded, stapled and tacked and taped over each other. Dozens of them, some printed, some handwritten, some with photographs and others with just names and dates. And one, centre of the board, showed a couple, arms around each other, standing next to a car that looked just like Jules' Subaru. Disappeared 2019, seen last near rural Missouri. We left without buying anything. We didn't even fill the tank. The pump wasn't working. The clerk said when he finally appeared, a man in his 60s with a name tag that just read F. His eyes were dull, like he was looking straight through us. Said the mechanic would be back soon. Said we could grab a bite at the diner up the hill. I asked what town this was. He blinked, then said, "A quiet one." We didn't want to go, but the car wouldn't start. The lights came on, engine spluttered, then nothing. The battery indicator flashed once, then blanked out. "Oh, it's brand new," Jules said. "It shouldn't be dead." We argued, panicked, then walked the block and a half to the diner. It looked like something out of the 50s. Chrome siding, checkerboard floor, booths with red cushions. Inside were 6 people. All of them turned to look at us when we walked in. None of them smiled, not one. The waitress didn't ask for our order, just brought 2 plates of food we didn't ask for. Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, dry cornbread. Jules leaned across the table. "I think we need to walk," she whispered. "Now." I nodded. That's when a man in a sheriff's uniform appeared beside our booth. He wasn't wearing a badge, just a uniform. He said, "Don't try the woods, they don't lead out." We left the diner without touching our food. The sheriff didn't follow us, neither did the waitress. But as we stepped outside, I felt something that hadn't been there before. Everyone was watching. From the windows of the post office, from the porch of the barber shop, from the church at the end of the block, the only building with fresh white paint. Not moving, not talking, just watching. The Jeep wouldn't start. Jules slammed the door and started walking down the road. I jogged after her. "We'll head east," she said. "If we walk fast, we can reach a real town by nightfall." I didn't argue. We passed more houses, all in varying states of decay. One had no door, one had an upside down cross carved into the siding, and one had a porch swing that creaked slowly even though there was no wind. After 20 minutes of walking, we reached a split in the road. To the left, gravel. To the right, asphalt. We chose the asphalt. It led us right back into town. Not figuratively, literally. Same archway, same gas station, same blinking light. But now, the wooden arch read, "Welcome back." I spun around. The road we just came from was gone. There was only the diner behind us. Jules was breathing heavy. "Okay, no more roads." She pointed towards the tree line. "We'll go through the woods." The trees were old, bent. The air smelled like wet rust and rotten leaves. We moved fast, kept the sun on our left. No trails, no markers, just endless green. Until we found the clearing, an old fire pit, a tent frame, a rusted thermos, and a camera. The kind with a cassette. I picked it up, rewound, and hit play. The tape showed a man, late 30s, sweating, whispering into the lens. "Don't trust them. Don't eat the food. Don't sleep twice. If you see someone you recognize, it's not them. It just wears their face." Then the screen went black. We looked around. The clearing was silent. Too silent. No wind, no birds, just stillness. We left the camera behind, and that's when Jules tripped over the shoe. A child's sneaker, half buried in moss, stuffed with teeth. Back in town, because of course, somehow, we ended up back in town. Things had changed. People were closer, windows were shut, and Jules started acting differently. She stopped asking to leave. She smiled at the gas station clerk. She asked if we could maybe stay another night, just one. She laughed too easily, said things like, "It's peaceful here, right? You said you needed to disconnect." I grabbed her hand and said, "We need to go, now." She pulled back, hard. "Why?" she asked. "Why would we leave?" That night, I locked the motel door, stacked furniture in front of it, charged my phone using my car's portable battery pack. No signal, but at least I had light. Jules was in the shower. The water ran too long, and when I finally knocked, she said, "Almost done." Her voice was wrong, like someone doing an impression, and then I noticed her reflection in the bathroom mirror. She was brushing her hair, but the reflection was smiling at me. Jules was already awake when I got up, sitting at the edge of the bed, smiling, hands folded neatly in her lap, like she'd been waiting. "Coffee's at the diner?" she said. "Let's go before it gets busy." I stared at her. She hated diner coffee, said it tasted like battery acid and regret. Jules? She tilted her head, eyes unblinking. It's okay now. I talked to them. We can stay. They said it's better this way. I pretended to agree. We walked back to the gas station, hand in hand. Inside, while Jules distracted the clerk with forced conversation, I slipped behind the counter and opened the storage door. Inside, shelves full of boxes, labelled by month and year. I opened one. Inside were phones, wallets, car keys, photos. All of them labelled, tagged, stacked neatly. I found one with Jules's name on it. Inside, a driver's license, a disposable camera, and a note. Arrived June 14th, compliant within 72 hours. I found a box with my name on too, but it was empty. Just a single slip of paper, undecided. When I came back out, Jules was gone. The clerk was gone too. I stepped into the street, empty. Even the lights in the diner were off, and across the square, standing in the church doorway, was Jules. She was holding something behind her back. I walked up slowly. She smiled. Not warm, not familiar, just automatic. You should have just said yes. You were supposed to stay. We only needed one more. She pulled something from behind her back. My camera. She clicked a button. Flash. Now you're part of it. I turned to run. The townspeople were there. All of them, blocking the street, unmoving, expressionless, like mannequins that breathed. I bolted into the woods. I ran for hours, no path, no sense of direction, until I found it. An overturned truck, half buried in brush. Inside, bones. A bag full of wallets and maps, and a notebook with one sentence written over and over. It's not a town, it's a filter. I don't remember how I found the road, but I did. A real road with asphalt and paint lines and actual signposts. Someone picked me up. They called the police. I told them what happened and they drove me back. There was no town, no gas station, no church, no diner, no Jules. Just a dead end and a washed out road. They questioned me for days and let me go eventually. Said I was dehydrated, hallucinating. They found my car 3 counties away, doors locked, keys inside. But something's wrong with me now. The lights in my apartment flicker at 3:17 a.m. Sometimes I wake up with mud under my nails. I dream of a table in the diner, set for 2. And every time I check the mirror, Jules is standing just behind me, smiling. It's been 6 months. I've moved apartments, changed cities, switched numbers. I don't tell people the story anymore. I tried, once, to a co-worker after a few drinks. She smiled politely, like she was humouring me. But then she asked, "Did you say the town had a diner with red seats?" I nodded. "And a church with a leaning steeple?" My mouth went dry. She smiled wider. "I think I've been there too." I quit that job the next day. It showed up in my mailbox 3 weeks ago. No label, just a sticky note that said, "You left something behind." I plugged it in. There was one video, grainy footage, like from the handheld camera. It was the diner, empty. Then suddenly, the lights came on. Jules stepped into the frame. She's holding a cup of coffee, smiling. She sits in a booth, looks directly into the camera and says, "Still waiting." Then the screen goes black. Out of curiosity, I searched her name again last week. Still listed as missing, except the case had been moved. It's no longer listed under Missouri jurisdiction. It's listed in Indiana, a completely different part of the country. Same photo, same name, different location. I called the new number listed for the detective. He said he'd never heard of the Missouri case. Said she went missing after leaving a rest stop near Vincennes. said witnesses saw her walking towards a closed gas station. I asked if the gas station was called Fisker's. He paused, then hung up. Yesterday, I woke up to find a key on my kitchen counter, not mine. Attached to it was a plastic fob that read, Room 2, Fisker's Motel. I don't know how it got there. I don't want to know, but I haven't slept since. Because sometimes, when I close my eyes, I hear that bell above the gas station door ring, and when I check the photos on my phone, there's one thing I don't remember taking. Me and Jules, in front of a wooden arch, carved with one word, welcome. If you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it, but I don't think I ever really left. And if you're driving late and the road curves too sharply and the GPS drops signal and you see a sign that says welcome but doesn't tell you where, don't stop, don't turn around, don't blink, because that town is not looking for visitors, it's looking for replacements.